Do you have a lot of onions from your garden and don't know what to do with them? Today we're going to bring you a couple recipes on Cooking Crave with what to do with your onions and also a great health tip. That's all coming up next on Cooking Crave. Hi, I'm Rhonda Fitterer.
And I'm Laverne.
And let's get started, and we got some onion things that we're baking today. What do we got going on, Mom?
Oh, we got some good things here. First of all, we're going to do an onion cheese bread.
Okay.
And we're going to get started with that so we can get that into the oven while we make some French onion soup.
Great.
So, like I said, with all these onions that people have from their gardens this year and stuff, and onions, it's really good for us. So
Great.
We're going to come over here. I did put the oven on. We preheat the oven to 400 degrees for the onion cheese bread.
Okay.
And we're going to just put the oven on here to saute. We start with 1 tablespoon of butter, and we're going to get that melted. And then we're going to add 1/2 cup of chopped onions, and we just want to saute them for probably 5 to 10 minutes, however, in there, just to brown them a little bit and cook them before we put them into the mixture and stuff. So
okay,
just got to get this melted here.
We were visiting at work, and one of my coworkers was saying that he was watching the doctors, and if you take a full onion and you place them in your home, they absorb bacteria.
Oh, wow.
And you replace them like once a month, and you have a couple onions, and it keeps you a lot healthier. That the bacteria goes into these onions, and they've actually done testing on them. It's pretty amazing.
Well,
and it's a raw onion.
It's a raw onion. Do you take the skin off of it?
Nope. He had said just leave the skin on, where another coworker actually said she had heard to cut the ends off. And her son had been sick, and they had did that. Not that it probably helped him that much, but the rest of the family didn't get sick.
Oh, that is a good health tip.
It is, and if you have an onion on the counter still in the skin, it doesn't smell.
No, it wouldn't.
But even if you cut it off, that would dry a little, that it wouldn't smell after maybe a day or so.
Okay. I would think so, that odor kind of dissipates.
But it absorbs bacteria and all the bad stuff.
Okay.
So,
well, maybe that's why onion is so good for you when we eat it. It absorbs some of our bad bacteria that we may have within us.
Yeah.
And stuff. So
listen to our grandparents when they tell us onions are good for us.
That's right. Well, that sounds good. And this year, talking to friends and neighbors, onions seem to have done just really great, in the gardens. So I think a lot of people have, onions in plentiful.
Great.
So we'll just get this here started to saute that a little bit. It's being sauteed. I'm going to just turn the burner down a little bit here, and we're just going to go over here, and we're going to start here. It asks for 1 beaten egg. I'm going to just take that and whisk that a little bit. And then it asks for 1/2 cup of milk. So we'll just get that mixed in here.
I think getting new bread recipes are always nice because, in the wintertime, just like this show, a soup and bread, it's a warming meal, it's comforting.
It's nice and
cold
hearty,
outside.
Yes. Okay, so I'm going to just take the sauteed onions and I'm going to add them to our egg and milk mixture here. Yeah, we'll put that back over here. Just blend this a little bit. And then we add 1.5 cups Bisquick to the mixture here. And just blend that all in until the Bisquick is all absorbed. And it's really an easy recipe because you get this in here. And then we're going to add a cup of it says sharp cheese. It can be American cheese, it could be cheddar cheese, whichever that you might have. And, you wouldn't even necessarily have to use sharp cheese if you didn't have that. Just some cheddar cheese would be good. So,
yes.
Okay, got this mixed here. And I just got to get that out of my whisk here. And if you'd like, I'll have you spray our pan. It says to put it into an 8-inch pan, and I still always like my glass pans. I think they brown very nicely, and that's my favorite is glass pans.
For most anything you cook, or is this mainly for breads?
Anything that will work, with glass. I mean, I like breads, but like I said, just about anything I like glass, especially when I'm making maybe a lasagna or casserole. I do. So I'm going to put that cup of cheese in here, and I do have the sharp cheddar cheese, and just blend that, and then you just put that in the in here, and then we're going to drizzle that with 2 tablespoons of butter.
Okay, now get a nice crispy top on that.
It'll make it look very, very nice, yes. And it's not going to be rise like you could use maybe a smaller bread pan, but it does ask for an 8-inch, and you're going to cut your bread more into like little squares instead of like a loaf of bread.
Okay, so it's not going to rise up like what you probably would think is a traditional loaf bread would.
That's correct.
Okay.
So I'm going to just get another spatula here and clean this one off. Okay.
And I can actually see this being a good bread, being it doesn't rise, to cube up and have for dips too.
Oh, I think that would be a great idea. So I have melted 2 tablespoons of butter here, so I'm going to just drizzle that over the bread mixture. And we already did preheat the oven to 400 degrees. So we'll just be able to put that in, and it's going to bake from 20 to 25 minutes.
Okay.
And, if you use a glass pan, I think usually too, it doesn't take quite as long. Dark pans don't take quite as long, so you're going to have to just kind of check it to see what your pan is like. So we're going to put that in here and just put the timer on. And I'm going to put it on we're going to start with 20 minutes. And if we needed to add a few more minutes, we can, but it's better than over baking it. So now what we're going to do is we're going to start our French onion soup.
Okay.
So we're going to come over here, and here it asks for half a cup of butter, which is, a cube. And we're going to get that melted in there, and then we're also going to put just a teaspoon of sugar in there. And that sugar will help crystallize and caramelize the onions, when you're sauteing them. Because you want to saute the onions for approximately 10 minutes.
Okay. Just like we kind of did with the bread.
Yes.
But obviously there's probably going to be a little bit more onions involved with the soup.
That's right. We cut up 3, fair-sized onions. And if you'd like to bring the onions over here, we can do that.
I think those are real fair-sized onions.
Yeah, and it just says to cut up 3, you use fairly large onions and just thinly slice them. And once we get this butter melted and the sugar in there, and it says to start with like a 4-quart pan kettle. Mine is a little bit bigger. I always feel more comfortable starting bigger, and you don't have worries about it running over or splattering as much. It's always better to have more kettle than you need than less.
Well, splatters on yourself or anywhere. You can make quite a mess sometimes if you get splattering on the stove top. And
that. So then I'm going to just put that in there and just kind of mix that in with the butter. And like I said, that just helps the onions just to caramelize a little bit, because you do brown them for, like I said, about 10 minutes.
Okay.
And this, you know, it looks like a big bowl of onions, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah. But actually, I mean, it is just 3 onions, and I just sliced them thin, and I did use just a knife because, you know, a food chopper makes, I mean, when you chop it, they're juicier and stuff, and we don't want quite that juicy to saute in with the butter and stuff. So we'll just get that going here.
And that'll take 10-15 minutes to get those all nice and browned?
Yeah, about 10 minutes, correct.
Okay.
So we can just get that mixed, and then from there we'll just add, we add some water, and we add some beef broth and all that. So while that's just sauteing here, we're just going to get our other things ready and come back to this in just a few minutes, okay?
Sounds good.
Okay. Okay, we've been sauteing our onions for a good 10 minutes now, and there's turning a light golden brown. And then we're going to just put a tablespoon of flour in there just to give it a little thickening, and we're just going to stir that up into those juices there. And so from here, it's not going to take too much longer.
It's amazing how much the onion just settles, or how should I say it? It just melts down.
Yeah, it has cooked down. Yes, it definitely cooks down quite a bit. Okay, so then we're going to add 2.5 cups water. There, okay. And then this we're going to just be bringing to heat it to a boiling point. And then it asks for 2 cans of beef broth.
Okay.
So we're going to add that in there. And then 1/2 cup of red cooking wine.
All right.
So we're going to put that in, and that's all our ingredients. So we're just going to kind of stir this up until it comes to a boil, and then we'll just turn it down for, it says to simmer 10 minutes after this.
Okay.
And already you can just see it has a nice golden color, what you expect to see out of a French onion soup.
Great.
And that won't take very long to bring that to a boil. And then we're going to put the cover a lid on it and simmer 10 minutes. And then the finishing touches is we're going to toast some French bread. You can either toast it in your oven, or you can just put it in your toaster and toast it. It will be a lot easier and quicker, and you probably won't forget about it and burn it.
Well,
you know.
and a lot less to clean up as well.
That's right, you know. So then we put that on, and then we put some Swiss cheese on it and put it in the oven and melt it, and it's ready to go.
Sounds good.
And
Can't wait.
Heard our buzzer going off for our onion and cheese bread, so that's probably going to be about ready. And this way that'll have time just to cool a little bit, and we'll be able to serve that with our soup. So
Great.
that's about almost to a boiling point, not quite, but our bread, the buzzer timer is going off, and let's just check to see how that looks.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, that did brown really nice.
And like you said, it didn't raise a lot, but sure looks good.
So to the touch, that looks like it's done. So in a glass pan, I had it for like 20 minutes, and it is definitely done.
Okay.
So we're going to just bring it over here, and I'm going to just put it on this cutting board to cool. And one thing nice too, when you have it in a glass pan, you can see that how the edge is brown, and you know, that's always a good part, especially when the bread is warm.
And when you have a butter on top, it always gives that little bit of extra crunch too.
That's right. Absolutely. So let's just go back here, and we'll just finish this up here. And that is about to a boiling point. So I'm going to turn that down. We're going to just turn it down to about a medium to simmer, and we're just going to put a lid on it, and we're just going to let that simmer for about 10 minutes.
Okay.
And we can go ahead, and I'm going to just pop my bread here into the toaster. And I'm going to just want to brown it lightly. You don't want it toasted too heavily. But it can be toasting, once I take it out, even if the toast is cooled down a little bit, it's not going to make a difference, because when we put on top the hot soup and the cheese and put it in the oven, it's just ready to go. It's just one step that you're doing to get done a little quicker.
Right, save some time.
Okay. Okay, let's check our soup here. That has been simmering for about 10 minutes now. And our toast should be about done, so let's just check that. And I'm going to push that button there, and see, all we wanted is just a little bit a little toasted, not too much. There. And let's bring that over here.
Okay.
And like I said, I just used some French bread with this. And I think if you didn't even have French bread in the house, you probably could use any other bread that you could just toast it. And it would probably work just nicely too. So let's move that over here so we can bring our kettle of soup here. That, and I just need to turn off my burner. Okay.
Oh yeah, that's boiling really nicely.
Doesn't that look good? So now what we're going to do is we're going to fill a couple of oven-proof mugs with the soup, because then we put the bread on top of it, and we're going to put a couple of slices of Swiss cheese on, and then we're going to put it back into the oven and just melt that there. So I'll let you put the bread on there, and just kind of squeeze it in there, and it'll get absorbed a little bit by the liquid of the soup. There. Okay. And it's best, put it on a cookie sheet or something like that, so that you, well, of course you don't want to handle the mugs when they're hot. Plus it's easier to, put that in the oven and just handle that a little bit better.
Sure.
So. Okay, last piece there. I'm going to just bring this over here, the rest of that. And it's kind of nice to be generous with the Swiss cheese. The cheese always makes the finishing touches of any, dish, I think. So I'm going to just fold them in half and put them on there. I think I'm going to just break them in half and put a little bit more on there. And again, that's going to be a matter of preference. It says to be generous on the cheese. And then we just put this back in into the oven. We've kept the oven on with our bread, and it says to bake this at about at 425 for 10 minutes, and then we're ready to go.
Sounds good.
I'll have you open that up for me.
Sure.
And I'll just put that in the oven, and that'll just be like a short order. We'll just put the timer on. And for the finishing touches to our French onion soup and onion cheese bread, we're going to serve some of the Workshop summer sausage.
Oh, okay.
And I've got some in the fridge if you wanted to go ahead and
All right.
bring that out. Okay, we'll just set there. And I don't think you can beat the Workshop summer sausage. They have the regular summer sausage, they have tangy summer sausage, they have jalapeno summer sausage. So whatever your taste is, they're going to satisfy it.
Great.
Okay.
That's always a good filler too, when you're having, you got your bread, we got a little soup and a little meat to go with it too.
Yeah, we didn't want a big, meat dish, but something just nice, just a finishing touch, and what better than that?
Sounds great.
Okay.
Oh yeah, the cheese is boiling nicely.
Oh, isn't that? And and it's just enough too that it has just browned just a little bit in there. Now the mugs are going to be hot, so we're not going to want to touch those mugs too quickly. And that, but just look at that, and then you just cut in there and look at that.
Oh, that looks
onions
great.
and the cheese and stuff. So here we are. We're featuring our French onion soup mix with some of the Workshop summer sausage and our onion cheese bread.
Yes.
Now I think we could just sit down and just really enjoy this.
Enjoy it and warm up with the little bit of cool weather that we've been having.
Oh, and it sounds like it's going to get cooler.
Yes.
And then we even have an onion to put in the house to absorb some of the bacteria. And I think with this onion, we should be able to be really healthy for the winter.
That might be a commercial-sized onion for that purpose.
Just about, isn't it?
Okay. Thank you again, Laverne, for baking these great onion dishes, and the Workshop for the summer sausage, and being Consolidated's Cook and Crave sponsor. Always, Art's a great guy up there. And to get these recipes, go to Consolidated's webpage, www.ctctel.com, and get these recipes, and please submit your recipes for us to cook for you on Cook and Crave. Thank you so much and have a great day.